Today, we just saw the heist of the century in financial markets. This week has been absolutely wild. And to understand what has been going on this week, we first have to understand who is Leopold Aschenbrenner. And Leopold Aschenbrenner has been a huge figure in 2026, really the first half of 2026, because this man went from working at OpenAI to running his own hedge fund, and very successfully at that. But this story quickly takes a turn this week, as we'll get into later in this video, where things got really, really bad. And it all has to center around margin and going levered. And this is why you're going to understand in this video why you really shouldn't be leveraging in the financial markets, because you just don't know what's going to happen. But anyways, Leopold Aschenbrenner's AI hedge fund is betting big on power companies and Bitcoin miners to fuel the superintelligence race. He was very right on a lot of stocks like Bloom Energy, Nebius, CoreWeave, so on and so forth. He had so many stocks that he picked basically to perfection that absolutely flew in the first half of 2026. A lot of them centered around hardware. And the biggest thing is that this hedge fund went from a merely $225 million asset growth to an estimated $20 billion empire at its peak. And actually, it might be actually closer to 40 to 45 billion from what I'm seeing as of today. Google might have this wrong. But yeah, they've achieved a blistering 439% net return in the first half of 2026 before suffering steep July losses, and we'll get into that in a minute. And they utilized up to 4 times leverage on concentrated AI infrastructure and bottleneck bets such as Bloom Energy and CoreWeave. And if you understand what's been going on in the markets this week specifically, we now must move into phase 2 of this video in what actually happened this week. Well, so on, what was that, Tuesday? 2 days ago, right, on the 28th, it was Tuesday, yes. On the 28th, Citadel Securities, which is one of the largest hedge funds out there, warned that the Federal Reserve under Chairman Kevin Warsh might deliver a surprise 25 basis point interest rate hike, aiming to curb inflation and end-of-era predictable forward guidance. And this got the market in a complete whirlwind. Most people thought they were actually going to hike rates a quarter basis point. And what did this do to the markets? It freaked everybody out and it caused a lot of uncertainty. And when you have uncertainty and doubt, you get market pullbacks. So during that time, from Tuesday, we saw a very large 2% pullback in the QQQ. But you have to understand that this week and the prior weeks, we've been seeing this sell-off. We've been seeing this sell-off since the highs back here in June. So we've been seeing this sell-off, and we've been already down around before that about 10%. So this caused us to drop another 2% in a very quick succession, right? And high beta names that have already been beaten down to a pulp: CoreWeave, Bloom Energy, Intel, Dell, AMD, any of these hardware companies or AI stocks, especially the more high-risk ones, they got absolutely demolished. They were down, like Iren, Nebius, CoreWeave, were all down yesterday. Massive. We're talking at some points, they were down 10, 12, 15% at their lows. And so what did this cause? It caused Leopold to completely get basically about to get a margin call. And what happened was Citadel sat there and said, hey, we believe there's going to be a 25 basis point hike. Caused the whirlwind in the stock market, caused stocks to sell off fiercely. And the man, Leopold, with situational awareness fund that had about $40-some billion in assets, which was using 4x leverage. 4x leverage is insane, because if you lose 25%, you're actually losing 100% of the actual capital that you're using. So you can see how things can get very, very bad very, very quickly. And some of these stocks, like I was saying, were already down a lot. And this man's using Forex levered, and they're down, to in one day, another 10, 12, 15, 20% in a day. And it caused them to basically almost get a margin call, and they had to scurry and run around with their heads cut off. And Citadel just sat there, came on in there and said, you know what? We'll buy situational awareness stock portfolio. Just, oh my gosh, guys. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So to put it all together now, Citadel comes out and says, we are going to get a rate hike, air quotes. And then they cause this mass sell-off to happen. And then they are the beneficiaries of that mass sell-off because they come in and buy out Leopold Aschenbrenner, this guy that was looked at like a god in the financial realms in the first half. Like anything he touches, it's going to turn to gold. And it did for a little while. But the guy got too cocky, didn't take gains, and he Forex levered all of his stocks. So Citadel might have been playing this diabolical game of, let's cause as many people to liquidate in the Korean markets, and or they knew that Leopold, I doubt they knew, but they knew that he was, using Forex leverage, and they caused him to capitulate. They had to hit up Citadel and say, we're really screwed right now. Could you please help us out? We're done. We're done. It's over. And then Citadel comes in there, scoops up the situational awareness stock portfolio. And then the craziest thing happens today. What happens today? He capitulates, he sells to Citadel, and then the market rips at its high. The Qs went up almost 3.5% today. The Qs almost went up 3.5% today. And guess what? Stocks like Nebius up 26% today. Stocks like Microsoft, 17%. Stocks like CoreWeave up 21%. Stocks like Bloom Energy up 23%. Basically, a lot of the stocks that Leopold and situational awareness portfolio held all ripped crazy amounts higher today. It's the craziest thing. It's like selling your stock that you're just like, this thing just won't go up. And then the next day after you sold it, they all just fly. They all fly through the roof. Absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely insane. This is the heist of the century. The heist of the century. Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel, is diabolical. This man is diabolical. What he just did to Leopold over here, is just insane. He said, welcome to the stock market, young buck. Let me teach you a little thing or two about how we run things around here. And let's not forget that Kenneth C. Griffin, the Citadel CEO, was also part of another heist of the century. GameStop. Remember, Citadel bailed out Melvin Capital with a $2 billion emergency bailout. And also, remember, not confirmed, but we all believe it to be true, that Ken Griffin, with his connection with the Robinhood CEO, had them turn off the buy button on GameStop so the short squeeze would end. And people could only sell on Robinhood instead of buy on Robinhood to create less shares for them to cover their short at Melvin Capital. So let's not get it twisted. Kenneth Griffin is a dog. He's a straight dog. And man, ruthless. This just shows you how ruthless the financial markets are, guys, because you can go from being Leopold Aschenbrenner, go to being looked at like a financial god. Anything this guy touches turns to gold, straight into, wow, what an idiot. I can't believe he was Forex levered and then he just got wiped out. He went from a god to a nobody who just got wiped out and played by Kenneth Griffin, the guy that's been in the markets for a very, very long time. This story is insane. This will probably go down as the biggest heist of the century, maybe the biggest heist in the entire stock market history, guys. This entire story is just rooted in insanity. Insanity, guys. Again, they put out there a fear event. The Fed is going to hike rates. It caused mass sell-off. This caused so many people to get liquidated in the Korean markets, the Kospi. It caused Leopold to liquidate. Again, the person that was looked at like a financial god, anything he could touch just turned to gold until it didn't, until he got caught up with leverage. And this is why we don't get caught up with leverage, guys. This is like number one reason we don't get caught up in leverage, because you just don't know what's going to happen on a daily basis, on a weekly basis in the stock market in the world. Things could turn very quickly against you. So, insane story here, guys. What's your guys' thoughts on this whole thing? Do you believe that Aschenbrenner will bounce back? You think he'll be back with a very strong life lesson? I mean, the guy's pretty young right now. So, and the craziest thing of it all, he has his wedding this weekend. His wedding is this weekend. Insane. Insane. Imagine being margin called the week of your wedding. Your wife is going to be ticked. Insane, guys. If you like this content, guys, if you like this story, go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'll try to keep up to date with craziness like this. I felt like I had to make this video because this was an insane story and I had to share it with you guys. So let me know what you guys think below. Does this guy bounce back? Is Ken Griffin a secret villain? What is this guy doing, man? Is he part of a cult? Like, what is going on? This is diabolical, guys. But nevertheless, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. See ya.